Good evening, Marines, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests. I'm Jim Axelrod, and I am honored to host this special 245th birthday of the U.S. Marine Corps. 23 years ago, two New York Marines, Penske Media's Jerry Byrne and actor Harvey Keitel, decided the Big Apple had to have its own gala to celebrate, in the media capital of the world, the Corps' extraordinary contribution to our nation. The 31st Commandant of the Corps, General Charles Krulak, attended as the first military guest of honor. And the venue was then, as it has been annually, the intrepid Sea, Air, and Space Museum. This year, the tradition continues, but we are virtual. Jerry now also has two exemplary Marines as his co-chairs, Jake Wood and Zach Iskall. I welcome you all on their behalf to a very special celebration. You'll hear from all three co-chairs tonight, as well as our honored guests, 38th Marine Commandant David Berger, the 19th Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Joseph Dunford, and a special introduction by former Secretary of Defense General James Mattis. Quite a night. Now, to get things started, it is my pleasure to introduce the gala founder and co-chair, Vice Chairman of Penske Media and Marine Corps Vietnam vet, Jerry Byrne.
Thank you, Jim. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Marines, and honored guests. For 22 years, this evening has been a New York City gathering to celebrate the positive impact the Corps has had on its family of Marines and on our nation. Over my shoulder, the magnificent Intrepid, a combat vet itself in New York's heralded Museum of Patriotism, sits waiting to again host our gala. I assure you, Intrepid, we shall return. But tonight we are virtual with honorees who are the shining lights of our Corps. Welcome, Commandant of the Marine Corps, General David Berger. Welcome, Marine for Life recipient, former Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Joseph Dunford. And welcome, New York City Mayor David Dinkins. We are so honored tonight to launch what will be an annual Honorable David Dinkins Vanguard Honor. The initial award will be presented to the renowned Montford Point Marines, where Private First Class Dinkins joined the Corps in 1945. Gentlemen, thank you all, and Semper Fidelis. Today we toast our 245th birthday. We thank all who have served, and indeed active duty Marines who serve today. Many generous folks have helped make tonight a reality, particularly our underwriters, Fred Smith and Federal Express, Kim Foley, George Olson, Walter Anderson, and Penske Media, among the many. Immense thank you to the Viacom CBS Veterans Network and Pluto TV for their leadership in producing and distributing our gala. Amazing partners. And Kathleen Gates, your design support has been with us since the beginning. Can't thank you enough. And thank you, Headquarters Marine Corps, the Marine Corps Barracks, and Marine Corps Drum and Bugle Corps. We always shine with pride having you there to showcase the Corps and the birthday. And thank you to my partners, retired New York City Police Department Captain and actor extraordinaire Joe Lisi. Joe is now also a culinary master and proprietor of Bar Dough on West 46th Street. And my co-chairs, amazing Marines and friends. Zach Iskall founded the Headstrong Project in 2012 to help service members and their families address mental health issues. And I'm thrilled to add, Zach has recently announced his candidacy for New York City's mayoral race. And Jake Wood. Jake co-founded the amazing Team Rubicon a decade ago. Jake's team mobilizes the veterans community to provide relief and humanitarian support when and where disasters strike. Another amazing example of Marine Corps leadership. So with that, I pass the baton to my brother, my partner, Jake Wood.
Geez, Jerry, you didn't want to tell me this was a black tie event? Just kidding. All right, that's better. Thank you, Jerry, and welcome to my Marine brothers and sisters tuning in from around the world. This year's birthday celebration takes on special meaning amid such a tumultuous year. Just as we were called upon to fight in any climate and place, we are called here tonight to celebrate our history, our accomplishments, and one another, despite the ongoing pandemic. I am proud that this group has chosen to keep this amazing New York City tradition alive, albeit in a slightly different form. Jerry, your leadership in making this happen is second to none. Thank you. 2020 has tested all of us, and in more ways than just COVID-19. A crumbling economy, a divisive election, and unrest in our streets following the horrific killings of multiple young Black men have left many Americans wondering what the future of our country holds. But just as Marines have never flinched in the face of the enemy on the battlefield, we won't flinch in the face of 2020. America is looking for leaders to help lead us through this current era of division. They should look no further than their Marines. We're honored to have two such Marines here with us tonight, Generals David Berger and Joe Dunford. These are men that we had the privilege of following while in uniform, and men that we both follow now, here today. I'm proud that we are honoring the Honorable Mayor Dinkins with our inaugural Vanguard Award, given tonight and on future birthday gatherings to Marines who have broken barriers and explored frontiers in our society. It is all too fitting that we bestow this inaugural award to the Montford Point Marines. I think of all the Marines now holding or running for elected office, like my co-chair, Zach Iskel. Regardless of their party, I know one thing, and I hope you believe it too. They will serve America, not themselves, and they'll do so with integrity. Of course, I also think of the veterans of Team Rubicon, many of them Marines, who have served in hundreds of American communities this year in response to COVID-19. Whether operating a field expedient hospital in Navajo Nation, establishing dozens of mobile test clinics testing people for COVID-19 throughout the West, or pushing nearly 10,000 volunteers into regional food banks to sustain feeding operations, America was in need, and the veterans of Team Rubicon once again answered the call. America today can sometimes feel like we're surrounded. But as Chesty Puller once said, we're surrounded? Good. That simplifies things. These are tough times, but as Marines, we were built for them. Tonight, as we celebrate our Corps, let us not forget all that is left to do. America is counting on us. Semper Fidelis, Marines. And with that, I'm honored to welcome to the virtual stage my friend and fellow Marine and the next mayor of New York City, Zach Iskel. Zach?
Thank you, Jake. And from the deck of the Intrepid Sea, Air, and Space Museum in New York City, happy birthday, Marines. I'm honored to co-chair this birthday gala with you and with our shared mentor and friend, Mr. Jerry Byrne. Jerry has done incredible work to make this event, a proud New York tradition for decades, still take place, albeit this year, virtually. Jerry, thank you, and Jake, thank you. This year, as we celebrate our birthday, I have an important ask to make of every Marine and veteran and those that love them. Check in with each other. Talking about mental health care isn't sexy, especially on a night like tonight. But I'm willing to bet almost every veteran and service member tuning in knows somebody who has died by suicide. We've now lost more veterans to suicide since 2008 than we did in the Vietnam War. Jake's Battalion 27 lost 30 Marines over the course of their Iraq and Afghanistan deployments in 07 and 08. They've now lost over 40 to suicide. 16 years ago, I was fortunate to serve in the finest battalion in the United States Marine Corps, 3rd Battalion, 1st Marines. We were fighting block by block, house to house, and room by room to clear the city of Fallujah. I witnessed remarkable acts of courage on a daily basis. Marines doing what Marines have always done best since 1775. 33 of our finest didn't make it home. Over half our battalion was wounded, and last year, we lost our 34th Marine to suicide. We have now lost more Marines to suicide than we did to enemy action. I've only got a few minutes up here, so I just want to make something clear. PTSD is fixable. If you have the courage to get help, and you get the right help, it is absolutely 100% treatable. PTSD is just a survival mechanism. It's not a sign of weakness. It's the inability to turn off the fight or flight response. The things that make you good at war, hypervigilance, restlessness, the ability to quickly react, lack of emotion, those are also symptoms of PTSD. They are things that make you not only survive, but thrive in dangerous situations. Think about what happens when you step onto the football field or wrestling mat. Your heart races, anxiety, sweaty palms, focus. That's you getting ready to fight. But what happens when you come home? When it's time to take off your combat boots? Those same things that helped you thrive in combat, they can also make it difficult to be a good father or mother, a parent, teacher, or coach. You get the point. I firmly believe that the stigma and lack of knowledge about PTSD is killing far more of us than PTSD itself. You'll often hear people say, if you need help, reach out and talk to someone. I say, don't wait until you need help. If you're having anxiety, if you can't sleep at night, if you're sometimes too quick to react, you have headaches, hypervigilance, panic attacks, that's when you should start talking to someone, or better yet, even well before. Here's the thing. You are not only going to be helping yourself, you're going to be setting a courageous example for others to follow. You're going to be helping us lead this effort to end the suicide epidemic in our community. This is especially important in the time of COVID. 2/3 of Americans are now suffering from depression, anxiety, and other mental health issues because of it. And I fear that this is just the leading edge. I pray to God we never have to say we've lost more Americans to pandemic-related suicide than we did to COVID itself. And it's up to us, Marines, to lead by example by getting the help we need. At Headstrong, we make this incredibly easy for veterans. You go to getheadstrong.org, fill out the form, and someone will be in touch within 24 to 48 hours. It's completely free. Zero bureaucracy, zero wait times, zero cost. Just world-class mental health care that gets you back to the best version of yourself. We've now built networks of world-class private practice mental health care providers in 28 cities and counting. And if you live in one of those cities, there's no excuse for not getting help or not getting your buddy help. Everyone watching tonight can help us win that fight. So let's continue to keep faith with each other. Semper Fi, and happy birthday, Marines.
Thank you, gentlemen, for those words and for organizing this special event. And now we're going to hand things over to our friends at the Marine Corps Barracks for a special ceremony.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Commandant of the Marine Corps, General David H. Berger, welcome to the Marine Corps cake cutting ceremony celebrating the 245th birthday of the United States Marine Corps. Please rise for the arrival of the official party. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please stand by for the presentation of the colors and the playing of our national anthem.
Great thing. Huh.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. On 1 November 1921, the 13th Commandant of the Marine Corps, Lieutenant General John A. Lejeune, directed that a reminder of the honorable service of the Corps be published by every command to all Marines around the globe on the birthday of the Corps. Since that day, Marines have continued to distinguish themselves on many battlefields and foreign shores in war and peace. On this birthday of the Corps, therefore, in compliance with the will of our 13th Commandant, Article 38 of the Marine Corps Manual, edition of 1921, is republished as follows.
On November 10, 1775, the Corps of Marines was created by a resolution of the Continental Congress. Since that date, many thousand men have borne the name Marine. In memory of them, it is fitting that we who are Marines should commemorate the birthday of our Corps by calling to mind the glories of its long and illustrious history. The record of our Corps is one which will bear comparison, that of which the most famous military organizations in the world's history. During 90 of the 146 years of its existence, the Marine Corps has been in action against the nation's foes. From the Battle of Trenton to the Argonne, Marines have won foremost honors in war and in long eras of tranquility at home. Generation after generation of Marines have grown gray in war in both hemispheres and in every corner of the seven seas, so that our country and its citizens might enjoy peace and security. In every battle and skirmish since the birth of our Corps, Marines have acquitted themselves with the greatest distinction, winning new honors on each occasion, until the term Marine has come to signify all that is highest in military efficiency and soldierly virtue. This high name of distinction and soldierly repute, we who are Marines today have received from those who preceded us in the Corps. With it, we have also received from them the eternal spirit, which has animated our Corps from generation to generation, and has been the distinguishing mark of the Marines in every age. So long as that spirit continues to flourish, Marines will be found equal to every emergency in the future, as they have been in the past, and the men of our nation will regard us as worthy successors to a long line of illustrious men who served as soldiers of the sea since the founding of our Corps.
This inspiring message of our 13th Commandant has left its mark in the hearts and minds of Marines. By deed and act, from Bellawood to the Argonne, from Guadalcanal to Iwo Jima, from Incheon to the Korean Armistice, in interventions from Lebanon to the Dominican Republic, from the opening battles of Vietnam to Grenada, Panama, and Kuwait, and from operations in Somalia and Kosovo to those in Iraq and Afghanistan, Marines have continued to epitomize those qualities which are their legacy. The success they have achieved in combat and the faith they have borne in peace will endure. The Commandant and our many friends have added their hearty praise and congratulations on this, our 245th birthday. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of the Marine Corps birthday cake. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. One tradition of the Marine birthday is the cake cutting ceremony. This ceremony is important to all Marines as it is an annual renewal of each Marine's commitment to the Corps and the Corps' commitment to our nation's quest for peace and freedom worldwide. The birthday cake is traditionally cut with the Mameluke sword as a reminder that we are a band of warriors committed to carrying the sword so that our nation may live in peace. The first piece of cake is presented to the oldest Marine in attendance as a sign of honor and respect accorded to experience and seniority. Our oldest Marine commissioned in the Marine Corps on 14 July 1942. He was born on 9 August 1920 and is a veteran of World War II, having fought on New Britain, Peleliu Island, and Okinawa, Japan. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 100-year-old Colonel Louis Schott, United States Marine Corps, retired. For 245 years, our experienced Marines have nurtured and led young Marines to fill our ranks and renew our Corps. Our oldest Marine will now pass the piece of cake to the youngest Marine in attendance, symbolizing the passing of wisdom, knowledge, and experience, as well as signifying trust and confidence in those who will carry on our Marine Corps traditions in the future. The youngest Marine present is Private First Class Christian T. Harris, who currently serves as legal specialist with Navy and Marine Corps Appellate Review Activity, Headquarters, United States Marine Corps. PFC Harris enlisted in the Marine Corps on 16 December 2019 and was born on 4 May 2001. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the retirement of the colors and the departure of the official party. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the playing of the Marines hymn. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony. On behalf of the Commandant and the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, thank you for your attendance. Semper Fidelis, and happy birthday, Marines.
We hope you're enjoying the festivities so far, and we thank you for watching this great event, as well as for your love and support of the U.S. Marine Corps. We asked some Marine luminaries and some celebrity friends to send messages for tonight's gala, which we'll be sharing with you throughout the night. Here are a few of your fellow USMC supporters.
Welcome. I'm Ken Fisher, co-chairman of the Intrepid Museum, and as Jerry said, we hope to one day host this magnificent dinner on board this great ship. But as I learned last week, and as Jerry said, birthdays don't take a year off. And what a magnificent 245th birthday celebration that Jerry, Jake, and Zach have put together this year.
Happy birthday, Marines. Of course, we'd rather be on the Intrepid right now, but we all know what's going on. So we'll have to make do with the set of Greg Kelly reports. And from time to time, you'll see great people like former Marine, although there's no such thing, my dad, Ray Kelly. Nice to see you.
Great to be with you, Greg. And happy 245th birthday to all Marines. And a special thanks and congratulations to our honorees this evening, General David Berger, Commandant of the Marine Corps, of course, General Joseph Dunford, the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and my former boss, David Dinkins, the former Montford Point Marine, and of course, Mayor of New York City. And Jerry Byrne, we want to thank you for keeping the tradition stronger than ever.
Thanks, Dan.
This year's event is very special. It's the 23rd year for the New York City Marine Corps Birthday Gala, celebrating the 245th birthday of the United States Marine Corps. This special event is being held virtually this year, and I am so happy to be able to participate. I'd like to congratulate this year's honorees, General Berger and General Dunford, and a very special shout out goes out to former Mayor David Dinkins for the David Dinkins Vanguard Honor, which will be presented from this year forward every year.
I want to give a big shout out to the Corps, all the servicemen and women for the Marine Corps Birthday Ball. Just hoping that this is going to be the best ball ever. But I also want to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for the incredible sacrifice and the contributions that you all make to our country and to all of us. So thank you for being the incredible men and women that you are.
Happy 245th birthday.
My family and I, we appreciate your service.
We salute you, and we want to wish you a happy holidays.
Hoorah!
But coming from a military family, it is an honor to be able to wish America's premier fighting force a happy 245th birthday. 245? Y'all look good.
To our Marine brethren,
America's premier fighting force,
we celebrate you. Happy 245th birthday.
To the few, the proud, happy 245th birthday, Marines.
Happy birthday to America's premier fighting force. That's right, the Marines. Happy 245th birthday. Ooh, it's your birthday. 245, y'all old. Anyway, happy birthday, celebrate. Thank you for everything y'all do for us. Yeah, hoorah.
You know, I'm a entertainer and I say a lot of messed up stuff on a daily basis. And the reason I'm able to do it is because I live in the country that you guys fight so diligently for, to be able to say whatever I want to say, man. So happy 245th birthday.
Woo! 245, that's a lot. And it does not go unnoticed. We thank you, we appreciate you, we salute you, all of the uniformed service members. Great, we appreciate and thank everything you do for the country and the community.
To all of our brothers and sisters out there in the Marines, the few, the proud, happy 245th birthday. We love you, we respect you. Can't thank you enough. Happy birthday.
When a country gets out of line and needs a smackdown, who does the president send in? He sends in the Marines. Happy 245th birthday, you devil dogs.
I want to give a big happy birthday to America's premier fighting force, the Marines. Happy 245th birthday. Hoorah.
To the few, to the proud, happy 245th birthday. Marine smile. Take care, guys.
Good evening, Marines. My name is Pete Fitzpatrick, and happy 245th birthday. A special shout out to General Joe Dunford and the Honorable Mr. David Dinkins. Also to our brothers, the Montford Point Marines. You set the example. You paved the way, and we're forever in your debt. Thank you. Semper Fidelis, and happy birthday, Marines.
And now a man who, for many of you, needs no introduction, the 38th Commandant of the United States Marine Corps, General David Berger.
Happy birthday, Marines. Thanks for having Sergeant Major and me as a part of this special video. And thanks to all those involved in making this happen. This year brought us all many unique challenges, but Marines will always adapt and persevere. That's what Jerry Byrne, the folks at Team Rubicon, and the people at Headstrong have done to ensure we can celebrate the birth of our Corps. Although we can't be together in person for this wonderful event, we observe the spirit of Brothers in Arms by taking the time to commemorate every 10 November. Every year around the birthday, I like to take a few minutes to reflect on where our Corps is and where we need to go. One thing that remains clear is our core values have sustained us through everything we've encountered.
I am absolutely proud to be a Marine. I'm proud of my service. I'm proud of the fact that I was in a position to do something to preserve my freedom and to hold on to those values that can only be had by free people.
Trust is not given, nor is it easily earned. Today, the trust of the nation is our inheritance, a trust earned through the selfless valor and determined actions of generations of Marines on the distant shores and misty battlefields of our storied past.
We were really snowed as to why we would need so many Marines to take this little piece of rock. But after the first day, when they lost so many wounded and killed, they announced that night, you know, we're going ashore. And the island was so different in its appearance from Guam and the other islands that we'd been on. There was no jungle, wasn't anything. Even though we'd been in combat before, you could see right off it wasn't going to be anything like what we had experienced before.
Long before we wear the uniform, long before the eagle, globe, and anchor is etched on our soul, we sense the special appeal that sets Marines apart. Our ethos, values, and character speak to our nation's heart.
All I wanted was an opportunity. Don't give me anything else, just let me, just show me the way and I'll get it done. And that was my motivation. I got an opportunity to serve in the Marine Corps and I chose Special Forces. I chose Force Recon and I did 3 tours in Force Recon. Did fairly well. Got a chance to be a combat swimmer. Made 3 combat dives and 2 swims of 1,500 meters in enemy territory. And we fought our way from the DMZ back to Hawaii City. And the team Broadmine, it was my team.
Our nation expects us to be the world's finest military professionals, to be capable and ready, and to represent all that is good about the United States. A nation of diverse heritages, united by common values.
There's no tighter unit in the world than the Marine Corps. I mean, you join the Air Force, you join the Navy, you become a Marine. And it's something that sticks with you the rest of your life.
The spirit of this ethos is born in the hearts of men and women by a common calling, a desire to serve, and a sense of duty born in ideals like patriotism, valor, and fidelity.
When the Japanese struck Pearl Harbor, the atmosphere of the country was entirely different than it is now. So everyone was talking and trying to figure out what they could do. I decided that I would go into the Marine Corps. No matter who you are, do some kind of service for your country. I've always been proud to say that I was in the Marine Corps.
Our ethos is who we are and what we believe.
I was 18 years old, and you you find out what you got when you need it. And I just thought I wasn't going to die that night. The NVA had came into our perimeter. All I had was a K-bar. I crawled over and I found my assistant gunner. We could hear Eli, the gunner, was shot up, and they'd come in and took Eli and drug him back into the hamlet. So I told Bob, I'm going after Eli. And I just went screaming, and I dove in and I dispatched him. And then I picked Eli up, I picked the gun up, and I got us the hell out of there.
To be courageous is to do what is right, to adhere to a higher standard of personal conduct, to lead by example, and to make tough decisions under stress and pressure. Marines train, Marines fight, and Marines win. Always.
We set up security, and they took off on a patrol into the village. 0530, that's when the fireworks started. We're trying to find our way over there, and the second time we found more, and some of them were dead, and then some of them were alive trying to take cover. I sped up and got between the village and the guys that were our guys. Yeah, we were getting shot at, and Myra was just going away, just boom, 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 boom. I'm alive because of Myra. I'll be dead honest with you. I've never seen a young man have that much courage.
Our nation finds in its Marine Corps men and women committed to preserving trust that's been built over the last 245 years. Marines, once transformed, are forever changed, instilled with the beliefs, ideals, and virtues that have meaning deeper than words. These ideals, honor, courage, commitment, form the bedrock of our institutional and individual character. On this birthday, our nation finds in its Marine Corps men and women who know the meaning of patriotism, valor, duty, strength, discipline, and innovation. We must be faithful to our country, to our Corps, and to each other. This faithfulness must never be compromised. We must respect each other, believe in each other, trust each other.
Our nation finds in its Marine Corps a ready and capable force, never content with the status quo or being average. Marines meet and exceed the standard. That is what Marines do, and that is what the nation expects.
Semper Fidelis, and happy birthday, Marines.
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, for over 245 years, you have always kept our nation safe and free. On behalf of Viacom CBS and the Viacom CBS Veterans Network, we want to wish our beloved United States Marine Corps a very happy birthday. Semper Fidelis.
General Berger, thank you for serving as our 38th Commandant with distinction and for managing our Corps and our Marines in this time of great transition. General Joe Dunford, both in your service as Commandant of the Marine Corps and as the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Your leadership has been exemplary and of unmatched service to our nation. Congratulations to you both on your Marine for Life Award. And finally, the groundbreaking Montford Point Marines are the perfect inaugural recipients of the Honorable David Dinkins Vanguard Honor. And thank you, Mayor, for your service. Semper Fidelis to all.
What did I learn in the United States Marine Corps? I learned about commitment, perseverance, and courage. And I learned that at Parris Island, South Carolina. Some years ago, I was asked, what would I want on my tombstone? And I thought about it, and I said, first, he was a Marine. Happy birthday, my fellow Marines.
What's up, Marine Corps? Ryan Bader here, Bellator MMA's heavyweight champion. Wishing you guys a happy 245th birthday. Appreciate what you do. Keep kicking ass.
To our Marines out there, the few, the proud, happy 245th. Hoorah!
245, United States Marine Corps. Very happy birthday.
From one Marine to another, I just wanted to say thank you for all that you do, for serving our country, Semper Fi, and happy 245th birthday, Marines.
All of you, both current and past, thank you all for everything you've done. You guys are the best.
Hoorah to the greatest fighting force that's ever been and will ever be. Happy 245th birthday. And sincere thanks to all you crazy, brave Marine heroes that showed me a wild time on each of my 5 visits in Afghanistan.
To America's premier fighting force, happy 245th birthday.
Just want to send a shout out and a lot of love to the men and women in the United States Marine Corps. Happy 245th birthday. I hope I can be there in person at one of your balls. One of these days I'll find some nicer clothes. But thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for what you guys and girls do.
Both of my grandfathers served. A lot of uncles and cousins of mine also did. And it's never something that myself and my family have ever taken for granted, what you men and women do for us to keep us free and safe in the greatest country in the world.
Hoorah! Happy 245th birthday to the United States Marine Corps. Semper Fi.
To all my Marine brethren, God bless you and thank you so much. Happy 245th birthday.
To the few, the proud, happy 245th birthday, and thank you for your service to our country. God bless you.
To America's premier fighting force, happy 245th birthday.
I'd like to say happy birthday to all our fellow Marines, including those who are out in every clime and place around the world where our country needs them tonight. And a special congratulations to those of you who are being recognized at this event.
I am extremely proud of the Corps and all the uniformed service members, and one day hope to join all of you in person at the Marine Ball. And of course, I appreciate all that you do for the country and the community. Love to all of you and to all your loved ones. Thank you.
The WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins would like to wish the United States Marine Corps a happy 245th birthday.
245?
245.
Woo! That's a lot of work. Yo, thank you guys for your service.
I am forever thankful for all that you nasties do for Corps and country. I wish that I could be there in person for this Marine Corps ball, but until the day that I can show up and show out, I wanted to say happy birthday, you nasty things. Keep it classy and Semper Fi.
To America's premier fighting force, to our Marine brethren, to the few, the proud, to the elitist fighting force America has to offer, happy 245th birthday.
It's my honor to congratulate this year's awardees at the 23rd Annual Marine Corps Birthday Gala in New York City. General David Berger, General Joe Dunford, the Honorable David Dinkins, and the Montford Point Marines. Semper Fi.
I want to send a big thank you to everyone who recorded messages of appreciation tonight and let you know that there are plenty more to come, so please stay with us. Now to introduce the debut of the Honorable David Dinkins Vanguard Honor. It's my pleasure to introduce my colleagues, Maurice Dubois and Cindy Hsu of WCBS TV in New York.
David Norman Dinkins is an American politician, lawyer, and author who served as the 106th mayor of New York City from 1990 to 93. He was the first and to date only African American to hold that office. But most importantly, Private First Class Dinkins was a Marine, a Montford Point Marine.
So it's with great enthusiasm that we announce that this year's gala includes the first annual Honorable David Dinkins Vanguard Honor, created to annually recognize a visionary, an individual or entity that's been a positive force in shaping the Marine Corps. This year's recipient, we give you the Montford Point Marines.
On June 25th, 1941, President Roosevelt issued Executive Order 8802, establishing the fair employment by the armed forces. From 1942 to 1949, a few brave African-American men changed the face of the United States Marine Corps forever. Faced with many challenges, they set out to make a difference and ended up making history. Listen as 3 Montford Point Marines share a personal story of honor, courage, and commitment.
My name is Robert D.REID, served 26 years in the Corps, from 1948 till 1974. The reason why I joined the Marine Corps was because at the time there was a draft, and when I graduated from high school, my buddies and I said, let's find out what the military is all about. Collectively, we said, let's do the Marine Corps. They seem to be some pretty tough guys. Now, we had joined. We weren't drafted, we joined the Marine Corps. They never told us that we were going to a separate boot camp. Well, the first couple of weeks was pure hell. My drill instructor, he was the one that told us that if you're going to be a black Marine, you're going to have to be better than anybody else. Better.
Subjected to very intense training, Reed and his fellow Montford Point Marines endured the hardships of boot camp, pushing them to limits most Marines had never experienced.
Well, the thing is, after my tour was up, came back to the States, and it just so happened that the Marine Aviation wanted to get blacks into their ranks. And I was one of the first blacks to go into Marine Aviation as an enlisted man. And my time in aviation wasn't until I got out of the Marine Corps.
Not only did the Montford Point Marines open doors, but they helped to set a precedent of courage for today's African-American Marines.
The Marine Corps was the last military service to be integrated. And I think that was the beginning of a new era of the Marine Corps.
The Montford Point Marines are extremely important. They were strong enough to take on a challenge that seemed to be insurmountable at that particular time. And for them, I do serve.
My name is Gene Doughty. I was born in Stamford, Connecticut. I was really appointed by the Navy Department to serve in the Marines 7 months after the famous 8802 presidential proclamation allowed us to go into the Marine Corps. So I was one of the original pioneers. Montford Point Camp was a segregated camp. We felt the indignity that was thrown at us, but we had to learn, we had to face all of these challenges that we had.
Shortly after graduating from boot camp, Gene Doughty's typical duties as an admin clerk shifted as the Commandant began increasing the responsibilities of African-American Marines in the war campaign.
We ended up on the island of Iwo Jima. I landed on D-Day, incidentally, with a few ammunition companies and depot companies. It was very unpleasant, but I prevailed. I was glad to be in the Marine Corps, and I'm glad that I was honorably discharged. But going into the military service, I would consider, again, very gainful and a real true benefit.
The legacy of the Montford Point Marines, much like the famed 54th Infantry Regiment and the Tuskegee Airmen, is significant in the history of America and its armed forces.
I think it's something that a lot of people need to hear, to appreciate what they've actually done and to appreciate the opportunity that they created.
Charles O. Foreman. I joined the Marine Corps because I happen to be one of those people who does not like to be drafted. If I've got to do something, I like to do it on my own. I was ordered to go to Jacksonville, North Carolina, Montford Point. My experience in the boot camp was very typical.
During Foreman's time at the Montford Point camp, conditions were tough, as they were forced to build and live in wooden huts surrounded by the heavily rugged Jacksonville, North Carolina terrain.
After boot camp, the war in the Pacific was of course proceeding, and what was created was what they call the First Colored Replacement Battalion. And this was a group of men, I believe it was about 100 in the group. At that time, I think I had been promoted to a three-stripe sergeant, and I was responsible for all these people. We sailed out of San Diego to Oahu. While there, I carried the title of Acting First Sergeant. Well, we actually stayed there for the duration of the war. If you asked me the question if I had it to do over again, yes, I would do it over again. Being in the Marine Corps helped because it gave me the backbone not to accept what was handed down. If you want something, you better stand up and fight for it.
Today, there are thousands of African American Marines serving in all fields and in every occupational specialty of the Marine Corps.
If a Montford Point Marine walked up to me today, I would say thank you. Thank you for paving the way. Thank you for creating an opportunity for myself and my brothers in arms that's come before me and those that are come after me.
And now to present this very special honor, Marine officer and Fallujah vet, Headstrong Project founder, and now, yes, New York City mayoral candidate Zach Iscol.
Thank you, Maurice. It's my great honor to present the first annual Honorable David Dinkins Vanguard Honor. Presented annually to recognize a visionary, either an individual or an entity, that has been a positive force in shaping our Corps. We can think of no better namesake than Mayor David Dinkins. He spoke of our city as a gorgeous mosaic. He understood the strength of our city was in its diversity. I got to meet him a few times, once briefly the night of President Obama's election. Another was at a Marine Corps birthday gala. He wished me a happy birthday, and we chuckled when I told him he looked pretty good for 200-something years old. Mayor Dinkins was born in Trenton, New Jersey to Sally and William Dinkins, splitting his time between there and Harlem. He graduated in the top 10% of his high school class in 1945 and immediately set out to join our Corps. They wouldn't take him, but Mayor Dinkins didn't know how to quit. He visited almost every recruiting station in the Northeast. Each told him that they'd already filled their quota for Black Marines. Finally, he found one that would accept him. He shipped off to boot camp, experiencing the Jim Crow South for the first time. He graduated from boot camp from Montford Point just as World War II was coming to an end. He then served honorably in the Marines as a clerk and as an ambulance driver, and after his discharge, he attended Howard University, where he met the love of his life, Joyce. Joyce passed away a few weeks ago. She was a fierce advocate for children, a loving mother, and a wife. They were married for 67 years. On behalf of myself, Jerry, and Jake, we send our heartfelt condolences to the entire Dinkins family for your and our city's loss. I know it must have been her strength that gave him the courage to run for Manhattan Borough President, not once, not twice, but 3 times before finally getting elected in 1985. 3 times. I told you, Mayor Dinkins didn't know how to quit. And when he campaigned for mayor, he campaigned in every neighborhood. He wanted to earn every New Yorker's vote. On the campaign trail, Mayor Dinkins often talked about our responsibility to walk another mile down Freedom's Road. As a Montford Point Marine, Mayor Dinkins marched our Corps and our country another mile down that road. But if you want to understand why this award is named for the Honorable David Dinkins, look no further than his inauguration address. A chilly January 2nd, on the steps of City Hall, 1990, he pledged, and I quote, "I see New York as a gorgeous mosaic of race and religious faith, of national origin and sexual orientation, of individuals whose families arrived yesterday and generations ago, coming through Ellis Island or Kennedy Airport or on buses bound for the Port Authority. In that spirit, I offer this fundamental pledge. I intend to be the mayor of all the people of New York." Mayor Dinkins reminded us that we are all foot soldiers on the march to freedom here and everywhere. We all belong to the America that Lincoln called the last best hope of earth. Mayor Dinkins understood that our diversity, our gorgeous mosaic, was the great strength of our city. There's no place else in the world like it. And if you don't believe me, take a ride on the 7 train through Queens. Our diversity fuels ideas, creative thinking, ingenuity. It is why New York City is the economic and cultural capital of our country. And like New York, it is also the great strength of our beloved Marine Corps. I certainly know, serving alongside so many remarkable Marines from every clime and place, it's been the great honor of my life. And so this year, as we present the first Honorable David Dinkins Vanguard Award to the Montford Point Marines, who led our Corps another mile down Freedom's Road, please join me in welcoming David Dinkins Jr. on behalf of his father and their family to the stage. On behalf of myself, Jake, Jerry, and our event gala committee, I present the Montford Point Marine Association the first Honorable David Dinkins Vanguard Award.
It's an honor to accept this award. Thank you, Zach. On behalf of my father and our family, I'd like to express our pleasure and pride to be part of this ceremony. Dad has often told me that being a Montford Point Marine taught him valuable lessons about dedication, service, and leadership. The Montford Point Marines were courageous pioneers. Their trailblazing efforts helped pave the way for my father and so many other African Americans. As the 106th mayor of New York City and the first black person to hold that office, David Dinkins continued the legacy of Montford Point. He was inspired by his fellow Marines, then by civil rights leaders and community activists to enter a life of public service. Now Dad serves as an inspiration to others. So it's very appropriate that the inaugural David Dinkins Vanguard Honor be awarded to the Montford Point Marines. Semper Fi.
Congratulations to the Honorable, with a capital H, Mayor David Dinkins, and to the also Honorable Montford Point Marines. I am thrilled to be a part of paying tribute to your history and your service tonight. I'm also thrilled to introduce the man who will tell you about tonight's Marine for Life honoree. He's a Marine who served 44 years on active duty in the Corps, commanding forces in the Persian Gulf War, the war in Afghanistan, and the Iraq War. He also served as our nation's 26th Secretary of Defense. With honor and respect, I give you General James Mattis.
I'm Jim Mattis, and it's my great privilege to introduce our guest of honor, a former Commandant of the Marine Corps. It's humbling to introduce General Joe Dunford, for we all recognize that few men in the history of our Corps are less in need of introduction. For Fighting Joe Dunford is a Marine's Marine, and what more needs to be said? Well, permit me to pay public respect to a shipmate and friend. He's as humble as he is brave, as competent a warfighter as you could yearn for when the chips were down and we had to stand and deliver. A selfless team player who believes credit is always due the lads up front and never to himself, this being a characteristic embedded in his family's Marine DNA. He's a living model of Marine Corps values. Joe Dunford is a reminder that organizations get the behavior they reward and they deserve. And our fighting men and women deserve the best, which is what Joe Dunford gave every day, his best. Our troops deserve leaders of his ilk, leaders who create unity of effort at every point across our Corps, officer and enlisted, active and retired, and leaders who never accept the word difficult as anything other than a duty to be done. You can tell a lot about a man by how he deals with hard problems, and Joe Dunford was given the toughest problems our military faced. Assigned command of the NATO campaign in Afghanistan, 4 dozen nations' militaries displayed the highest degree of battlefield harmony under his leadership in the most trying circumstances. Selected as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, his raw example was the ethical and moral model for our entire military during a politically tumultuous period, while gaining trust across the globe as an American straight shooter whose word was his bond. Yet for all his time at the highest echelons of power, he never lost his focus on the most junior troops, from the front lines to their hospital beds. For, as Kipling put it, he could talk with crowds and keep his virtue, and walk with kings but not lose the common touch. This Boston lad represents America's awesome determination to defend herself, unafraid against the odds, who could inspire foreign troops and ours to move unhesitatingly against our enemies. He's a reminder of the best of us, with no boasting. He's a stoic and deadly reminder, a man who sent a message to our foes that we Americans are not made of cotton candy and that we don't scare. He proved a guiding light of honorable behavior in defense of our Constitution, even on the battlefield where the thin veneer of civilization can be stripped bare. Certainly adversity reveals a man to himself. In this case, Joe Dunford was revealed to us all as a man of proven moral and physical courage and a man for all seasons. Ladies and gentlemen, General Joe Dunford, U.S. Marine.
Happy birthday, Marines. It's an honor to be with so many friends to celebrate the birthday of our Corps, even if it's virtual. Let me start by thanking our co-chairs, Jerry Byrne, Jake Wood, and Zach Iskel. You know, it's been easy for the co-chairs to cancel this event, but they wouldn't hear of it. They did what Marines do. They adapted and they overcame, and so here we are enjoying this evening. I also want to thank all of you who have supported this event and the two great organizations it benefits. As a Marine, as a veteran, and as an American, I couldn't be more proud of what Team Rubicon and Headstrong do for our veterans and our nation. They truly represent the very best of us. Jake and Zach, thanks for your leadership, your commitment, and your extraordinary contribution. Speaking of the best of us, I want to congratulate Mayor Dinkins on the establishment of the Honorable David Dinkins Vanguard Award. And what more appropriate organization to receive this inaugural award than his fellow Marines from the Montford Point Association. Mr. Mayor, thank you for your leadership example, and to Jerry Byrne and PMC, thank you for sponsoring this award. And finally, I want to thank General Mattis for his introduction. You know, I worked for General Mattis 5 times, and today I carry around a full sea bag of lessons learned from our time together. He's truly a giant of the Corps, and I'm proud to call him a friend. I'm also appreciative of being recognized with this year's Marine for Life Award. Although, to be honest, when you spend your entire life as part of a team, it's a bit uncomfortable to be singled out for recognition. But I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity to briefly thank the many Marines that have helped me and mentored me along the way. You know, I was surrounded by Marines from the earliest age. I had 7 uncles that served in World War II. 3 were United States Marines. My dad was a bit younger and he joined the Corps in 1948. He later served at the Pusan Perimeter, landed in Incheon, and walked out of the chosen reservoir just days after he turned 20 years old. It would be hard to overstate their influence on me. Although they never shared much about their combat experiences, their pride in serving as United States Marines was obvious. They inspired me to join the Corps. They inspired me to be a part of something greater than myself, and I'll be forever grateful for their example. As I reflect on my career, I realize I owe a particular debt of gratitude to our Vietnam veterans. I grew up in the shadow of Vietnam veterans. For me, they were the big kids on the block growing up. They were my instructors at Officer Candidate School and the Basic School. They were my platoon sergeants when I was a platoon commander, and they have been mentors throughout my career. Marines of my generation and today's Marines have benefited from walking in their footsteps. Tonight, as I reflect on my career, I realize how fortunate I was to be exposed to the special leadership style of Lieutenant Colonel Joe Hoare, or Sergeant Major Sam Fernandez, or Gunnery Sergeant Dan Garcia, or the many others who touched me along the way. Those Marines and their contemporaries are responsible for anything good I did as a leader. In 1 year after taking off my uniform, I'm also mindful of the Marines I served with along the way, my fellow lieutenants, my NCOs, my commanders, and particularly those younger Marines I had the privilege of serving with in Iraq and Afghanistan. It's because of my fellow Marines I made a decision to stay in the Corps. It's because of them that I look back now at the path I chose with no regrets. And it's because of them that tonight I continue to be proud to claim the title United States Marine. Finally, I want to give a shout out to my wife Ellen and our 3 children. My ability to serve is directly attributable to their willingness to sacrifice and serve. Whatever we did over the decades, we did as a family. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for the opportunity to join you, and thank you so much for this recognition. I look forward to thanking you in person in the months ahead. Until then, God bless you, Semper Fidelis, and once again, happy birthday, Marines.
Congratulations, Joe, on the Marine for Life Award.
We are so proud from your friends at CBS Boston.
Before I congratulate this year's Marine for Life Award recipient, there's a few things I'd like to say. So far, not counting the 2020 award recipient, there have been 12 Marines recognized with the Marine for Life Award. 5 were captains, 2 were lieutenants, 4 were sergeants, 1 was a lance corporal, and that brings us to me. I have the distinct honor of being the lowest ranking Marine who has thus far received this award. I'm particularly happy to announce that for 2020, my Lance Corporal streak remains intact. Now to recognize this year's recipient. This year's award recipient, as you know, is General Joseph Dunford, former Commandant of the Marine Corps, a man's man, a Marine in every sense of the word, and certainly a wonderful and deserving choice for this award. It is with my deepest sense of reverence, respect, and pride to congratulate you, General, on receiving the Marine for Life Award for 2020. I'm also happy to recognize this year's military guest of honor, the current Commandant of the Marine Corps, and a Marine equally deserving in every respect. With regard to General Dunford and Berger, let me say this from a Lance Corporal's perspective. When a Marine gets to be the Commandant of the Marine Corps, they are the man. And that'll be the case until a female gets to be the Commandant. And when that happens, you think the Marine Corps is a tough fighting force now? Look out. I'll tell you what, if either one of my ex-wives were in Vietnam during the war, we'd have won that war. So we'll just have to see how that shakes out. And the very fact that these generals have attained the designation of Commandant says they have a lot on the ball in every respect. Finally, I'd like to recognize the Montford Point Marines for being awarded the David Dinkins Vanguard Honor. Well done, Montford Point Marines. In closing, I'd like to buy both you generals and the Montford Point Marines a celebrity cocktail, but with me being a Lance Corporal, it'll have to be at the Enlisted Club. Come by at happy hour. Semper Fi, God bless America, and on behalf of all of us who served in the Vietnam War, thanks for all you did, and most of all, welcome home.
Let me begin by saying congratulations to Mayor Dinkins for your Vanguard Award in perpetuity. I've known you for many years. You were a great mayor, but I have to say that the former Marine in you probably had something to do with you becoming mayor of the greatest city in the world. Also, I want to congratulate General Dunford as the 19th Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staffs and the 36th Marine Corps Commandant. Your career will be remembered for many years to come. Future Marines will be reading about you and all your accomplishments. Thank you for your service to this country. And of course, General Berger, the current Commandant, let me thank you for being here and participating and keeping this tradition going and leading Marines. Plus, I noticed you served in the 2nd Marine Division, as did I. And finally, I want to thank the Montford Point Marines. I always honor them because they made it possible for people like me to serve. As you can see behind me, 2 years ago, I commissioned my own son in the Marine Corps. He's serving now. So this is a family tradition. Happy birthday, Marines.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kim Foley, and I joined the other Marines for Life in offering our congratulations and welcome to tonight's honored guests, to include General David Berger, the 38th Commandant of the Marine Corps, and General Joseph Dunford, who is the 19th Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and finally to the Honorable David Dinkins, a former member of the storied Montford Point Marines. All the best to everyone this evening, and happy birthday, Marines. Semper Fidelis.
On behalf of the Boston Semper Fidelis Society, I want to wish General Berger and all Marines a a happy Marine Corps birthday. I want to congratulate General Joseph Dunford, this year's recipient of the Marine for Life Award. When asked to describe General Dunford, I thought of the Irish clattering, heart held by two hands with the crown on top. The heart represents love, the love he has for his family and this country. The hands represent friendships, the many friends in Boston and around the world. The crown represents loyalty. He has always been loyal to his Marines, men and women in uniform, and veterans. Congratulations, General Dunford. Semper Fidelis.
From the Eli Young Band, to the few, the proud, happy 245th birthday.
Hoorah, Marines, happy 245th birthday. I've had the privilege and pleasure to perform for our Marines around the world. You guys have the most amazing energy. You have the best shows. You know how to do great chants during the shows. So thank you for your service. Thank you for your love and kindness. And I can't wait to perform for you again soon.
It's happening, guys. Big Daddy Sitch is in the building. That's right, Mike, the Situation from MTV's Jersey Shore. And if you're watching this, indeed, we have an awesome situation in our hands. In fact, we have a birthday situation shout out in the building.
I just want to thank you for everything that you do for this country, for the community, and I send love to you and your loved ones. Bye. Have a great, great, great birthday, guys.
Hey, this is Wes from MTV's The Challenge. Hoorah, Marines. Congratulations. Happy birthday. 245. That's a great number.
What's up? It's Brandon Gomes into America's most elite fighting force. Happy 245th birthday, Marines. We love you. We appreciate you. Keep the story going.
And I have always wanted to do this. So I'm going to give you guys a big hoorah. Hey, happy birthday, Marines. Happy 245th birthday. I appreciate every single thing that you guys do for us. I hope you guys have a blessed day.
As a man who comes from a family background of Marines, I definitely understand the sacrifices that need to be made, and I'm truly humbled and grateful for all the sacrifices you do make on a daily basis. Honestly, without you guys, we wouldn't be able to experience the freedoms that we know and love and be able to experience this wonderful place we call the United States of America. So Semper Fi, Devil Dogs, and thank you for all that you do day in and day out.
To the few and the proud, incredible men and women who do so much to keep our country safe, happy 245th birthday, Marines. Thank you.
I want to send one final heartfelt thank you to all the wonderful people who contributed to tonight's event by sending in remarks, to the co-chairs who put this event together, and of course, to all of you for joining us. Now, for closing remarks, I once again give you my friend, Jerry Byrne.
On behalf of my co-chairs, Jake Wood and Zach Iskall, thank you all for being part of a very special evening. General Berger, General Dunford, and Mayor Dinkins, tonight shined because of your presence. And to our underwriters and sponsors, your support is making a difference. Finally, to the Viacom CBS Veterans Network, Pluto TV, Jim Axelrod, Cindy Hsu, and Maurice Dubois, you made virtual very special. Now to the Drum and Bugle Corps and our Marine Corps hymn, Semper Fi.